Students, colleagues, families, friends, members of the Board of Trustees, and honored guests, it is a privilege to welcome you as we virtually celebrate NFA's 162nd commencement ceremony. This is a very special day. There are no words to express our overwhelming pride in sharing this event with you. To the parents, relatives, friends, and those who are no longer with us but who are here in spirit, thank you for the privileged gift of being a part of these remarkable students' lives. Now, I would like to recognize and thank our outstanding faculty and dedicated staff for their time and effort, which have contributed greatly to the successful completion of the Class of 2020's academic studies. NFA is especially proud and mindful to continue the observance of our time-honored traditions. The Hymn Dundee was first performed in 1858 at the first Academy commencement. NFA's senior ambassador singers, under the direction of Mrs. Tanya Lehman, will now sing the national anthem and the Hymn Dundee.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, and the home of the brave, home of the brave. Let children hear the mighty deeds which God performed of old, which in our younger years we saw, and which our fathers told. Thus shall they learn in God alone their hope securely stands, that they may never forget His works, but practice His commands.
Mrs. Lehman, thank you to you and our amazing ambassador singers. Honored guests, proud families, and treasured friends, our two student speakers competed in the Caden Williams Prize Reading Contest for the distinct honor of speaking today. It is my pleasure to introduce to you NFA's 2020 Ivy Orator, Henry Vanass.
When a man walks into a room, he brings his whole life with him. He has a million reasons for being anywhere. Just ask him. If you listen, he'll tell you how he got to the present moment, how he forgot where he was going, and that he woke up. If you listen, he'll tell you about the time he thought he was an angel, and then he'll smile with wisdom, content with the realization that the world isn't perfect and that he isn't either. He'll tell you about the bridges he crossed, the sacrifices he made, and the lessons he learned along the way. Each of us carries our lives into the room of the world, and ultimately, we have the final say in whether or not we leave it better than we found it. Because the world alone does not exist. Only individuals exist that make up that world. And that realization is the lasting beauty that this crisis has brought to our generation. The solemn gratitude for every person that has suffered to save lives and borne the weight of the world on their shoulders for the betterment of all. You and I, the individual, must always remember that from this Man's highest calling is to simply serve one another. To the class of 2020, remember, with the world in dire straits, many American generations before us have chosen to fight for good and to protect the vulnerable. From braving the Great Depression and the Great War, to storming the beaches of Normandy and rising from the dust after 9/11, America's youth met the challenges set out before them and came out stronger than ever. But today, we have no Great War, no Great Depression. Our Great War is invisible. It is frustrating that our common tools of comfort, a hug, a pat on the back, can do the opposite of the good we intend. But we must remember that we come together by staying apart. Now, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once professed, "The moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends towards justice." In our lives, we may face times where that universal arc bends towards evil, and it will be up to us to bend it back. With this in mind, I ask each member of the class of 2020 to make a promise to themselves today that the moral sum of your actions, the long arc of your lives, will bend towards good, that you will give with generosity, fight for justice with passion, and that you and I, our generation, will define patriotism not along the lines of nationalism or excessive pride, but rather unbridled compassion for our fellow man. Thank you, and good luck on your journey ahead.
Having earned the honor of being this year's class speaker is Jillian Watt.
For granted. 2 simple words we hear almost every day. 2 simple words I never thought so much about. I never sat down and thought exactly what I took for granted. Turns out I took for granted small things that I thought were a given. Going to school, going to the mall, hanging out with my friends, eating in restaurants. All of these things that I thought would be around forever, but I was wrong, completely wrong. On March 13th, 2020, all of our lives were changed forever. Everyone's lives all across the globe. What we did not know was that our lives would change extraordinarily. As I speak for the class of 2020, most of us were excited when we found out we were going to have a 2-week vacation due to some mystery virus. In fact, we were almost oblivious to the what-ifs. After about a week and a half of luxury, we were ready to go back. We missed our teachers, our classrooms, our friends, you name it. What we did not know was that we were never going back. Unfortunately, the class of 2020 has suffered deeply from this horrendous virus. We had a lot taken away from us. In fact, we were robbed of some of the most important milestones in our lives. We will be known in history books as the class that, for the first time ever, had a virtual graduation, virtual award ceremonies, and no prom. For the class of 2020, this was all extremely saddening. Getting to walk across the stage, diploma in hand, was a moment in our lives that we have been waiting for since we were young children. Even getting all dressed up for prom, to have one final night with our class, was something we dreamed about every day. We were disappointed when we found out we would never experience these special moments. It was time to change our mindset. In order to overcome these obstacles, we had to focus on making the most out of our unique situation. Fortunately, our community came together and provided resources for us to get through this tough time. A few moms set up a Facebook page entitled Adopt a Senior to give seniors the recognition they deserve. Norwich Free Academy provided us with various opportunities to continue our education in an effective way. We were even given opportunities to join live dance classes, lectures, and meetings. I guess you could say a new era is upon us. A new era for us not only to embrace, but define. Even though this is a very hard time for everyone, we can look at this as making history. Due to our unique consequences, we have become extremely innovative in the ways that we have all been able to carry out our daily routines. The class of 2020 is at the center of all of this. We are now more resilient, intelligent, and caring. We can understand sadness from a completely different perspective. We have now been able to see the world at one of its lowest points. We no longer just hear about these events in history books, but we have actually lived through one. We have a story to tell our future children and grandchildren. We are now united in a way never thought possible. The class of 2020, in the most simplest of terms, is strong. We are strong enough to overcome any obstacles that our future will throw at us. Even through a pandemic, we have managed to commit to our future colleges, join the military, and become employed. We are a group of resilient individuals. We will now be able to bounce back unlike no other after being faced with any of life's challenges. The class of 2020 is not only united at Norwich Free Academy, but we are united with every other graduating class. We have been connected through social media with seniors all across the globe, and we are all feeling the same, disappointed. However, through this disappointment, we have managed to become mature adults. We have grown in ways never thought possible because of this. We have matured like no other senior class. We are now adults, adults capable of taking on the future. We are the future. We are a new generation of quick-witted, futuristic human beings. We are able to educate ourselves on any subject we wish. We can occupy ourselves for days on end with intriguing tasks. We are able to revise innovative plans. We can take on any obstacles with wit. We have enough care to help others during times like this, while having enough strength to rebuild our generation. We are the class of 2020, and we will most certainly never be forgotten.
As a long-standing tradition, members of the 50th NFA reunion class are invited to participate in our class commencement exercises. On behalf of the class of 2020, I extend our thanks and appreciation to those members of the class of 1970 who are virtually participating today. It is my privilege to introduce Admiral Robert J. Papp, Jr. Admiral Papp served as the 24th Commandant of the United States Coast Guard. He joins us today as the class speaker and a very proud representative of the 50th reunion class of 1970. Ladies and gentlemen, Admiral Papp.
It's a great honor for me today to represent the Norwich Free Academy class of 1970 in saying a few words to the graduating class of 2020. As a sailor and a professional mariner for most of my career, I learned very early that in order to safely navigate your ship, you rely upon trusted landmarks to fix your position and avoid the rocks and shoals that you might encounter along your chosen course. Likewise, in our lives, we rely upon trusted landmarks to take us along our chosen paths. Those landmarks might be parents, teachers, coaches, and yes, even institutions. Norwich Free Academy was one of my landmarks. Throughout the years, I've reflected on my teachers, coaches, my band director, and my classmates, teammates, and bandmates who left me with lasting lessons, impressions, and memories that made me think, made me laugh, and often helped me make decisions in my life. So it's a great honor for me to represent those members of the class of 1970, 50 years later, in offering congratulations to the members of the NFA class of 2020 and to their families and friends, and also offer thanks to the NFA Board of Trustees and the entire NFA faculty for their dedicated efforts to get the class of 2020 to this day as we collectively navigate these very challenging times. Several years ago, I found a letter written by President John F. Kennedy that described men and women who crossed the oceans of the world to reach our shores, and how they demonstrated strength, courage, discipline, and resourcefulness to find their way across what he referred to as uncertain and stormy seas. Now, Kennedy often spoke and wrote both literally and figuratively. So he was using that phrase, uncertain and stormy seas, as a metaphor for the problems and challenges that confront us as a country. And he expressed his belief that the same qualities and characteristics of those sailors would serve us as a country to confront those challenges. For the class of 1970, one of our most memorable civics lessons was as third graders observing the election and inauguration of John F. Kennedy, our 35th and youngest president. Our uncertain and stormy seas began with the assassination of President Kennedy when we were sixth graders, the assassinations of his brother Bobby Kennedy and the Reverend Martin Luther King when we were lowers at NFA, and accompanied by riots and protests over the civil rights movement and the war in Vietnam, and the continuing threats of Cold War and nuclear conflict with the Soviet Union. The landmarks in our lives helped us navigate our way through those troubling times. Likewise, the class of 2020 faces its own uncertain and stormy seas. The unprecedented challenges of a pandemic, a worsening economy, the continuing war on terrorism, the threats of a rising China and a resurgent Russia, climate change and global warming, and perhaps most distressing, the political polarization, inequalities, and discrimination that threatens to drive us apart as a country. How might you, the class of 2020, take on these challenges? Well, I think President Kennedy's example might provide some direction. In our youth, he inspired all of us with his inaugural speech, in which he sought to unify the people of the United States and really all of humanity to make the world a better place for everyone. His call to duty was, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country, and appeal to selflessness over selfishness. He told us to get involved. Kennedy understood the need to find a unifying goal for this very diverse country. And while speaking at Rice University in 1962, he acknowledged the many challenges facing the country. But he then stated, we choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. He set a very high and optimistic goal for our country, a goal that was achieved less than a decade later when on July 20th, 1969, just before my class's senior year, the crew of Apollo 11 landed on the moon. When we left this institution 50 years ago, some entered the workforce, some went to college, classmates entered the military, others marched in protest against the war, some became government servants or joined the Peace Corps, they married, became good parents, they voted, they made a living and paid taxes, they became good citizens, they solved problems and did their best to build a better country to pass on to their children. We got involved. In spite of our differences, we shared a sense of optimism and the understanding that if we focus on the many things that unite us rather than divide us, we could make it through anything. And so it will be for you. Your generation in a few short years will be challenged to assume the responsibility of leadership. And what will guide you? Well, I would say with landmarks like Norwich Free Academy, you're off to a good start. Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you, Admiral Papp. We appreciate your virtual participation in this ceremony and your dedicated military service. Thank you, sir. A very special thank you to all the members of the class of 1970. We appreciate your continued love and support of your priceless pearl, Norwich Free Academy. NFA is both grateful and fortunate for its wonderfully loyal and generously supportive alumni and its vast community of friends who have made it possible for NFA to award more than $439,000 in prizes and scholarships this year. Thank you. NFA has recognized 299 of its students for their artistic talents, athletic accomplishments, and scholastic achievements. They are an amazingly talented group. I would now like to recognize and thank those seniors who will leave NFA to serve in the nation's military. Also, thank you to those seniors who are pursuing a career in law enforcement or as a first emergency responder. Thank you, and we appreciate your service. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the reason we are all here today, to recognize and honor the NFA class of 2020. As we share a photo and announce the names, please take note of students with the honors designation of cum laude, magna cum laude, or summa cum laude. Faculty and staff members Carrie Howard, Colleen Caulfield, Judith Bassam, Mickey Williston, Jody Savage, and Michael Bridget Chaya will read the students' names.
Frank Ernest Abreu, Jr. Francois Pimalat Asime, Jr. Andrew Louis Acevedo. Peyton Allen Adams. Francesca Lorena Adorno. Giselle Aguilar, Ishmam Ahmed, Adora Nemsanma Aki, Olivia Grace Aldridge, Zachary Albert James Alexander, Ivy Anna Allard, Nicholas James Allard, Madeline Avery Allen, Matrell Allen Altenor, Melvin Gomes Alves, Jack Philip Anderson, Jeffrey Ronald Andruskowitz, Jr., Scotty Laverne Anthony, Jonathan Antoine, Kishla Nicole Aponte Castillo, Alyssa Marie Arnold, Marissa Nicole Arundel, Alicia Murray Artega, Chelsea Esther Avery, Tila Elise Avery, Marvin Anier Ayala Pascual, Terrence Keith Ayuyu, Justin Robert Bagley, Merlin Muji Balidamaj, Jackson Elias Bertinsik, Dejan Natalio Barros, Matthew Elijah Barstrom, Jacob Samuel Bazinet, John Turner Bean, Blaze Khalid Bosajor, Faith Elizabeth Beauchamp, Isaac Sebastian Becker, Destiny Rain Bellamy, Catherine Marie Belmont, Emma Rose Benoit, Lily Ann Bentley, John Darrell Simula Ferrioso, Lindsay Bernier, Leica Neftali Gertrude Bertrand, Shaylin Ali Kenya Bilal, Michael George Bilius, Lucero Lynette Blanco, Damian Andre Blue, Callista Joe Bowen, Charisma Renee Boxley, Christina Marie Brenneman, Jeffrey Ronald Brewer, Emily Nicole Brewster, Ruben Esteban Britos Jr., Aiden Paul Brown, Joshua Walter Brown, Malachi John Toron Brown, Tatiana Brandy Brown, Luisa Danielle Bueno, Kiana Ann Burdick, Owen Mitchell Burdick, Joel Enrique Burgos Rodriguez, Jessica Marie Burgos, Riley Thomas Burke, Riley Teresa Berzicki, Derek Butts. Gabriel Alessandro Cabezas. Ariana Elise Cagle. Christina Marie Cambron. Isabella Marie Campbell. Megan Elizabeth Canova. Abel Ezekiel Caraballo. Avalisa A. Cardoso. Colette Marie Carlos. Zeb Louis Carty. Kenny Raphael Carvajal. Joshua Timothy Caswell. Margaret Dorothy Caswell. Catherine Cepeda Marte. Jennifer Cepeda Rodriguez. Kenny Chadek. Dylan Michael Chapel. Ricardo Presme Charitable. Jonathan Jalen Charles. Kelly Elise Cheatham. Jackie Chen. Jiao Chen. Junyen Chen. Stevens Narvi Cherry. Ashlyn Nicole Chmielewski. Michael Angelo Chmielewski. Sean Michael Kaliva. Melissa Cifuentes. Adarius Cintron Mahias. Julia Isabella Cintro. Jasmine Lee Clark. Amy Elizabeth Clark. Ryan M. Clark. Evan Alexander Clements. Lauren Elizabeth Cloak. Jaida Star Colbutt. Miguel Antonio Colon Jr. Maya Elizabeth Conley. Alexis Renee Connor. Kaylee Mist Connors. Richard Joseph Contino. Heidi Marai Contreras. Jonathan David Cook.
Ro Delis Cosma Rodriguez. Justin Daniel Kostick. Andrew Cody. Cheyenne Marie Cody. Nathan Lewis Cody. Erica Michelle Crawford. Bridget Kathleen Crowley. Jacob Brian Crowley. Kara Noel Cruz Johns. Courtney Elizabeth Sear. Megan Elizabeth Daly. Haley J. Marie Damboy. Jonathan Thomas Danowitz. Amoy Barita Dawson. Louis Joel De La Cruz Tapia. Amani Tamika Defette. Stevenson Delanoy Diaz. Madeline Jolie DeLuco. Lexi Rose DeMoro. Chelsea Cecile DeMoro. Yingzhen Dang. Xavier Sebastian Denmark. Erica DePina Goncalves. Elena Marie DeSheffi. Jordan Anthony D. Simone. Tyla Ashley Desir. Nicholas Gerard DeRoja. Tyler Martin DeVega. Kylie DiBernardo. Sophia Grace DeCoco. Victoria Tacchini De Giuste. Mackenzie Kimberly Diodato. Amber Delia Discola. Fendi Divers. Xavier Dixon. Caitlin Grace Dooley. Connor Tiernan Douglas. Louisa Mary Drab. Austin Drabinski. Juliana Rose Drainville. Kang Lee Du. Jermaine Francis Duclona. Kyle Dudek. Alexander Lee Dufort. Alan Lee Dufort. Naomi Dumond. Curvins Jr. Dupiton. Juliana Marie Durkee. Adam Dutrumble. Olivia Nellie Irene Eastman. Daniel Egler. Riley Viola Ellington. Wendy Ann Enslow. Xavier Michael Epperson. Ian Martin Chen Esquero. Alex Joseph Jimenez Estrella. Kevin Estrella. Sunshine De Vera Estrella. Jacob William Ewing. Kalia Marie Exum. Rida Fantoma. Maria Fustina Fini. Kawirmina Matama Felix. Luke Bonnell Felix. Morgan Lexis Fenner. Thomas Christopher Fernald. Marcos Urel Fernandez Flores. David William Fitz. Kevin J. Flaherty. Nazalise Annalise Fletcher. Uraida Flores Perez. Giovanni Barbosa Fonseca. Joe Wilson Rodriguez Fontes. Lila Marie Foote. Elijah Fowler. Olivia Fowler. Olivia Morgan Freegard. Tamar Kayla Fremont. Riley Elizabeth Fritchie. Zoe Brianna Furman Cox. Silas Chandler O'Neill Gates. Olivia Anna Gaudette. Angelina Amelia Jem. Christian Alexander Gervais. Gabriel Mitchell Gil de la Madrid Dubina. Xavier John Gilbert. Jada Lynn Gilliard.
Andrew Ryder Gluck. Matthew Joseph Goldblatt. Davian Gomes. Yarelis Yesenia Gomez Polanco. Danae Sky Gonzalez. Ethan Graybill. Tyreka Trumaine Grace. Isabella Grace Graziano. Selena Ashley Greatsinger. Christopher Thomas Green. Nolan Green. Alexia Barbara Gresco. Tanner Christopher Grohaki. Jackson William Gurton. Shawnee Sky Gilbert. Michaela Kara Guimond. Alexandra Gloria Guntner. Sage Rain Gwynn. Emma Melissa Hargraves. Lily Marie Harris. Derek Robert Harvey. Ashley Hatch. James Bartholomew Hajadek. Devlin Stephen Hawkins. Jiajing He. Kyle Asa Hurd. Shane Levin Heller. Caleb Michael Hill. Lavery Edwin Hill. Nurka Lilibeth Geraldo Rivera. Sean Patrick Hurt. Chase Donovan Hodgkins. Madison Jane Hodgman. Candela Rosa Hoffman. Christopher Martin Holdsworth. John Robert Holdsworth. Damian Ray Hollingworth. Haley Ann Hopkins. Jacob Hosko. Kayla Houghton. Sean Dean Houtman Wolcheski. Pedro Walter Huaman Casariego. Qianxiang Huang. Wenji Huang. Joshua Alexander Huber. Haley Eileen Marie Hutala. Stephen Aaron Hyde. Jeray Evelyn Ann Isom. Francisco Ishkoy Leon. Christian Matthew Jacaruso. Samuel Allen Jackman. Charisma Monique Jackson. Michaela Janelle Jackson. Maeve Annalise Jacobs. Kennedy Pamela Jacob. Jacob Allen Jason. Ashley Jean-Baptiste. Fritz Jr. Jean. Simon Jesmieni. Erin Elizabeth Yadley. Hunter Thomas Jenks. Jeffrey Enrique Jimenez. Akensia Gerald Jones. Annalise Rose Jones. Jermaine Elias Jones. Dakota Jonathan Jones Coy. Justin Michael Philip Jordan. Daniel Fritz Jules. Marissa Elizabeth Kaika. Theodore Michael Capinos. Alexandra Cowney. Avery Schuyler Kelty. Benjamin John Kendall. Jesse Lee Kesner. Juliette Angelique Kimball. Tanya Sue Kingsley. Maxwell William Knowlton. Jack Michael Kolashuk. Tiani Kong. Madison Lee Kroner. Kiana Shanti Karaz. Daniel Faith Juan. Jessica Brittany LeClaire. Caitlin Rose Ladd. Jennifer Nicole LaFlamme. Veronica Lynn LaFleche. Jaden Lane. Christopher Michael Land. Blake LaPierre. Dominic Michael LaPrade. Zachary Bryce Larkham. Cooper James Larkin.
Adrian Leo Lassu. Jessica Lavoie. Caleb Anthony Lawton. Justin Corey Vin Lee. Ashley Lynn Leacraft. Lee Everett Lazier. Angelina Marie Leo. Joshua Leone. Ethan Michael LaRue. Justine Liang. Francisco Javier Liberato. Sean Anthony Lima. Justin Rijan Lin. Zhangyang Lin. Yang Ji Lin. Sienna Saporia Lindsay. Yujuan Liu. Veronica Lopez. Joshua Tyler Lovejoy. Savannah Kayla Lovett. Philip Digby Ludlow. Alexander Jeremiah Lorette. Mackenzie Lynn Marr. Kavan Jamal Magnon. Yadiel Enrique Malav. Logan Maneri. Sophia Ann Markley. Xavier William Marquez. Jordan Elizabeth Marquis. Julia Crystal Martin. Madison Healy Martin. Paige Trinity Martin. Sydney Alana Martin. Jiriam Alexandra Martinez Fontanez. Florencia Martinowski. Gabrielle Skyla Matthews. Jeff Mathurin. Evans Matos. Jonathan Maynard. Natalie Mayumbo. Grant Vanderveer McDonough. Tiana Rhodesia McGill. Dylan James McGuire. Sean J. McGuire. Kayla Nicole McKee. Jenna Catherine McLean. Mason Patrick McMahon. Noah Joseph McMahon. Tristan Ty Medina. Ayana Siobhan Melillo. Leslie Ann Mendez Roman. Mauricio Mendoza. Sydney Rochelle Manessis. Ethan Gabriel Miller. Justin Robert Miller. Sanai Jade Miller. Jordan Yvonne Milton. Bedens Mirabeau. Andrea Alejandra Miranda Ross. Nolan James Molkentine. Michaela Leanne Mora. Dominic Raymond Morabito. Pablo Diego Morales Jimenez. Norman Morales Jr. Cristo Manuel Moran Vargas. Jalen Marcus Morello. Joseph Francis Morris Burkholder. Ian Lawrence Mrakovich. Aria Irene Mueller. McKenna Ann Mueller. Stephen Mushero. Hannah Elizabeth Muzikowski. Jose Raul Nadal. Jared Dominic Nolt. Shivani Lovalu Nelson. Jeffrey Ying. Anki Ni. Lukenson Nicholas. Eric Nicolaj, John Rudson Nord, Benjamin Fatim O'Donnell, Draven Kenter Oconee, Dielis Okendo Hernandez,
Osatin David Osagi, Jalen Deshaun Overton, Garrett Alexander Owen, John Anthony Padilla, Natalie Stella Palomino, Nicholas Robert Parent, Magenta Sky Parish, Krishna Rajesh Patel, Krishna Rajnikant Patel, Krupali Kishore Patel, Cole DeWitt Patnode, Ivan Paul, Kayshawn Paul, Nizaya Michael Paul, Margaret Peck, Jariana Perez Diaz, Mason D. Paris, Jameson John Perrin, Zeta Rain Perry, Madison Ann Pesty, Cassidy Morgan Petranek, Harmony Jordan Petranek, Anna Joy Piccioni, Quentin Donald Piper, Sarni Pierre, Elissa Lynn Pyers, Michaela Joanne Poirier Vaughters, Haley Jane Price, Anna Renee Proietti, Gabizi Pu, Angel Elizabeth Queen, Quincy Quint, Samantha Lee Ray, Eleanor Jean Reagan, Kayla Juliana Ragston, Ariana Mercedes Rainey, Tommy Ramirez, Willaney Mary Ramos, Mackenzie Roisin Ramsey, Madison Jean Ramsey, Kayla Marie Verdun Sweet, Kayla Marie Regis Timon, Alexis Ann Remley, Angelo Rafael Reyes, Jamar Roshane Reynolds, Mike Vicente Reynosa, Hunter Lathrop Riccardi, Fabiola Michaela Richard, Austin Joel Richards, Emma Grace Ricketts, Simon Joseph Ricketts, Brady Michael Ryder, Colin Christopher Ryder, Kevin Rios Vega, Alexia Janae Rios, Zara Lynn Robinshaw Pagan, Brenda Quiroz Rodriguez, Jadesha Yvonne Rodriguez, Nicole Christina Rodriguez, Noah Alexander Rodriguez, Melanie Romero, Destiny Audrey K. Rosario, Julia Elizabeth Rosenthal, Nevaeh Marie Ross, Litziana Ruiz, Michaela Eve Rush, Andrew David Rydell, Jack Evans Alenia, Annalise Santos, Talisha Nicole Santos, Samantha Lynn Savoy, Daisha Lynn Skaplin, Alex Oliver Senat, Jaden Jadriel Sarusi, Parker John Sharp, Derek Thomas Shaw, Alexis Paige Shepo, Liliana Marie Sherbane, Noah Hunter Shrewsbury, Lydia Ann Siskowski, Brianna Lee Sigler, Tyrell Jordan Simon, Sophie Nicole Smart, Liam Christopher Smedley, Ashlyn Paige Sminky, Jacob Michael Smith, Victoria Beatrice Smith, Jakai Anthony Snell, Sienna Marie Snodgrass,
Grace Emerald Snow, Carly Marie Sabansky, Rodolfo Solis, Erin Elizabeth Special, Brianna Elizabeth Speedwell, Charday Dominique Spruill, James St. Victor, Christine Nicole Staggs, Anthony Michael Sullivan,
Kyle Daniel Sullivan,
Michael Sullivan, Seamus Michael Sullivan, Rachel Sung, Ellie Jade Swanson, Nathaniel John Sweeney, Talia Sweet, Jaden M. Swift, Nyasia Tanae Swinson, Neela Saradiah Silvestri, Anthony Joseph Sylvia, John Sylvia, Shante Latisse Talley, Tommy Tao, Ryder Tardif, Mackenzie Tepper, Dolce Itzel Tepeto Rojas, Garlande Velusma. Caitlin Marie Toma. Caitlin Paige Thompson. Nathan Russell Thompson. Elias Tolrado. Ryan Christopher Tan. Lauren Ryan Topalis. Allison A. Topa. Brendan Edward Toth. Samantha Hope Tracy. Brenton Trask. Kendali Irene Trinidad. Kevin Javier Troche Vivas. Abigail Tucker. Justin Tooley. Emily Christina Toronto. Brianna Nicole Turner. Claire Masala Immaculée Val Fils. Henry Mark Vanas. Theron Napoleon Vanas. Nazarene Rose Vasile. Nathalie Vasquez Sanabria. Aneldi Gabino Vega. Carlos Alberto Vega. Justin William Velasquez. Kaylee Diane Vidal. Christian Veens. Alexander Matthew von Seeberg. Logan Joseph Wakefield. William Harrison Walker. Zoe Walsh. Kiari Walston. Tony Wong. Janice Wong. Conrad Joseph Waters. Devin Watson. Jillian Morgan Watt. Russell Way. Alexis Lynn Welch. Sammy Wong. Zachary Ryan West. Catherine Louise Westcott. Jordan Wheeler. Nicholas Terranova Whelan. Joel Gale Briggs Whitaker. Kaylee Whitford. Isaac Carroll Wilkinson. Haley Ann Wilcox. Cavion Luttrell Williams. Debrianna Janae Williams. Erin Michelle Williams. Sarah Williams. Free Spirit Wilson. William Wolfe. Lucas Pommel Robert Woodcock. John Anthony Reyna. Youngyi Wu. Rinviel Shia. Scott Shu. Along Young. Willow Young. Shiying Young. Jean Carlos Yente Medina. Meadow Horizon Yan. Andrew Jonathan York. Rachel York. Rachel Faith Young. Cassandra Lee Zawacki. Haley John. Sabrina Zhang. John Zhao. Tina Zhao.
I am extremely proud to have presented the members of NFA's class of 2020 to you today. Congratulations to the newest alumni class of Norwich Free Academy. You have made a real difference during your time at the Academy, and you will continue to do so wherever you go. We are extremely proud of you, we respect you, we love you, and we wish each of you continued success and happiness. Congratulations. Thank you for watching. We will conclude this ceremony with the singing of the Alma Mater, led by the Ambassador Singers.
Till the seas become abated, and the stars forget to shine, till the clouds obscure the sunlight, and 'tis darkness all the time, till the raindrops cease their falling, and the winds forget to blow, till this gay old world stops whirling, NFA our love shall know.